Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Today, we are making French toast. What's the only twist this time? And since I made it before, we are going to put chocolate in the mix. So we're going to have chocolate French toast. And of course, my normal introduction is you're out of the cult. Cults like Scientology, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormon, and other cults. You got your aid from the SPTV Foundation and the MJR Aftermath Foundation. But there's only thing that you need to get by to order to live, and not just by one food like Scientology, like beans and rice for a form of punishment, which is not the way we should be living our lives. That's their form of punishment. Well, guess what? You're not going to have any more starvations like that. So guess what? I'm helping you survive by learning to cook. And of course, food is one of the necessities you need to order to survive. Now, it's like a car having a gasoline. Now, to order a car to run, you need to fuel it up by putting gasoline in it. Of course, in order to live, you need food. And that's like putting fuel into a car. Only you're putting energy into your body like gasoline into a car. However, we're going to get down to it. All right, first, put your heat on medium. Okay. Of course, you usually, as usual, add 1.5 cups of plant. Yeah, it's some. Yeah, and believe it or not, this is 1.5 cups. Only they put the half up at the tippity top. Yeah, that's what they did. Unusual, isn't it? All right. Okay. Then you add 2.5 teaspoons of cornstarch. Yeah, it's different when it's vegan, the vegan form. And then I'm going to put the half in. Half teaspoon in. Now, am I a professional cook? No, I'm not. But you know what? I really want to contribute any way, shape, and form. Since I don't have much of my own, I try and find ways to contribute. So I'm doing it to actually give a cooking lessons, even though I'm not a professional chef. I'm not no Lydia Bacciani, I think that's her name. Julia Child, Wolfgang Puck, or Rachel Ray. I am definitely not Rachel Ray because I am not a professional cook, but she probably had years of culinary school, and I hope I got it right about her background. Usually they do go to culinary school, but I guess some chefs do it through family businesses. But you know what, how it works. All right. Oh yeah, maybe I should start putting these things away as I'm done using them so I can have other room to actually move a little. Ooh. Okay. I almost forgot my cooking pan. All right, well, my cooking spray, excuse me. And we're going to stir this up. I'm going to whisk it. All right, got that. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Of course, we're still going to put the cinnamon in there, or else probably won't be French toast. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, a teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, here it is. Here I was, couldn't find it. All right. It's in there now. Okay, so I'm going to add this, still add. The last one was at the top, so there. Okay, I'm going to put this away. We're going to whisk it up again. But you know what? I always had my creative streaks. So when I thought of the idea of chocolate French toast, I had to bring it to you guys. So I'm going to mix this up and then add the chocolate in. How many teaspoons of chocolate? We'll get to it in a sec. I'm still going to add the cinnamon in. So if I add it, the only way I'm going to do the same recipe is if there's something different that I'm putting in and it turns out to be different. I'm going to bring it to you guys. And chocolate was one of the reasons I decided to bring back the French toast, because I thought of it. Not only I'm going to talk about Scientology and other cult matters, I'm also going to add the art therapy, like I've added to Friday's lineup, and the cooking during the weekends, because we all need the break somehow from writing our notes and bringing it on to bring up to tell the Scientology stories. Now, all right, there we go. And now we're going to add let's see, 2 teaspoons of chocolate. Now, should I add sugar? If none of this goes down, then it looks like it. So, all right. All right, so we're going to stir this up. Now, Now, you can't take a shortcut when it comes to making something like this. You can easily buy chocolate milk and use that, but it'll be much interested if you put it in. So, or you can use vanilla milk, make vanilla French toast. Okay, gonna mix it up. Yeah, okay, it's going in. Now, should I put in sugar? Let me think. Now, I don't do these things ahead of time. I don't try out a recipe that I made up ahead of time. I just don't do it. I just take my chances. So, okay. All right. I know. Maybe if I could take a sneak peek and see if it tastes a certain way, then I won't put in any sugar. If it has a bland taste to it, yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit in. So here we go. 1/3 in. So that's all I'm gonna put in. All right. Oh, I spoke a little. All right, so we're gonna put in our 1/3 of sugar. Okay, if I can find it. If not, I'll just use half of it and I'll put like 1/4 more, and that will be 1/3. Okay. All right. Now, all right. Okay. Now, okay, there we go. We got our chocolate mixin'. Chocolate French toast. We got it mixed in. So, take our first, dip it in. All right. And we're going to stick it in. Oh, wait. First, we're going to have to put our cooking spray in. Yeah, I couldn't dump that. So, all right, so so nothing will stick. Just take any cooking spray, spray the pan, but do it away from the flames because it's gonna catch on fire. So, okay, should I have done that ahead of time? Yes, but got your cooking spray, you can use it. So then, all right, here we go. So now we're gonna put it in. Okay. All right, there we go. And while this is cooking, I got a tip for you in the kitchen. You know, sometimes we make our trial and error. It usually does happen. Everybody does it. Even the professional chefs does it. So they say they haven't burned food in their life. Maybe, you know what? They are lying. Even they make their mistakes. They make mistakes too. So when I was growing up, this is how my mother used to do things. If something burns and it's at the bottom, okay, turn this on a high temperature and it will loosen everything up. And then at the end, take the spatula, you scrape up the bottom, and whatever is at the bottom, it'll come off little by little. Of course, boiling it will aid to it. That's the way my mother used to do things when me and my older brother were growing up. So, okay. So, let's see. Now, what else is going on in the SPTV community? Well, guess what? Yesterday, I was trying to get into my phone. And of course, I'm thinking, wait, I can get in through a password. Of course, I also had a new program into my computer the next time I create, so I won't have any more hacking incidents with Scientology, because that's what they usually do, is hack into other people's computers. And they also had a program for the telephone, which you download. So I came up with the password to get in, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is the password. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they did it to me again. Only they did it through hacking into my phone as well. And I put it in there so people won't hack into my phone or listening in on my conversations, because guess what? There are people that do it out there for apparently no reasons, because hey, they just want to listen to a conversation through other people. So it's, yeah, not really that great at all. So then I couldn't get back in, so I called the phone company, Verizon, and they said to take it in, which later on I will do today after I'm done eating 3 of these. Last time I had all of it, I gained 3 pounds, so I'm only going to eat 3 of those. So, and yeah, it was horrible. But yeah. Okay. And is it going to work? I think it will. Sometimes it depends how badly you burn it. If you get too comfortable in another part of the room, which is usually your living room, then you got to forget about what's on the stove and it burns. Usually I get comfortable and that's how everything burns. But if I'm in the kitchen, nothing happens. Isn't that a hoot? And yeah, sometimes we can't get too comfortable. Sometimes people are good at remembering what's in the kitchen, and some people just forget about it a little bit, but then remember, oh no, my food is burning, I better go in and get it. Some of us get too comfortable and it's no good. So that's how not me, my mother, my grandmother. I think she got it from my grandmother. So, all right. And what else is going on? TV world. Let's see. Okay. did I bring up last week about Laura FM in the commissioners meeting? She brought, I think, for maybe 5 of the books that of Jamie Mustard's latest book on his experience with Scientology. He came from nothing and just boosted himself up to be self-educated when he started living with his grandmother. And of course, and then when he did that, he later on went to a college, believe it or not. But you know what? Some people are good at self-educating themselves. Some people aren't. I'm happy to be one of them. So he has this amazing story. I highly recommend the books, even though me and books, I don't read a book, but sounds good. So read his story about his experience with Scientology. Okay. All right. Now we're going to flip these over. All right. Maybe I should keep notes too. And since this is just a cooking segment, I'm just going to. Okay. Let's see what else there is. And of course, as usual, I reached out to Audit LA to see if she'd come into my show. Of course, I didn't get an email from her, but guess what I got? She hit subscribe with me on my channel. And since March, this is subscribe number 9. So I have 9 of them. And another 20 on my tablet, which is very odd, since I guess that can't be touched. But I'm going to see if I can find a way to combine those two. And it wasn't a problem. At first, yesterday, when I came home, I sat down and I went to all my content that I went live. It wasn't even there. So what I did was go to the search bar above, and then I got them back. So they didn't see it again. And yeah, when you're talking about a certain topic and you put yourself out there in the world, you're going to get your crazy freaks. And one of my crazy freaks are Scientology. Of course, Aaron came out. So did Laura, so did Nora. And they had crazy people too. I bet you they had a share of crazy people being outside their door. So, okay. All right. And, all right. What else is there? Okay. And yeah, since this is an anti-cult program live stream, not only I'm going to talk about the cult, but I am going to give instructions on cooking, because I can't donate my money that often, because guess what? I can't afford it. I'm not in the position of donating anything. I don't have that much of an income, so I just say, you know what? I'll contribute to getting them to cook their own meals. So. And let's see, what else is there? Okay. All right. Yeah, this is broiling. To get that mistake right off. All right. So, of course, I'm spending a week trying to actually get that off. Trial and error, of course. And let's see what else is in the works today. Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, I had this problem. And of course, later on, I'm going to see if I can keep the same phone number. If not, that's it. I'm going to have to tell my family that something happened in my phone and I had to change the number. Yeah, some people just don't have anything better to do than to hack into other people's phones. In this case, it was Scientology. They never have anything better to do. And since David Miscavige dropped out of school, he doesn't have anything better to do but to rob people blind and squeeze money out of his members. All right. And of course, that's how L. Ron Hubbard was operating his cult, squeezing money out of other people. And to top it off, they do not let them leave. So that's how they kept on squeezing money out of the same people. But guess what? They found clever ways to live. They have to plan ahead of time to exit Scientology. It's not like a regular church, synagogue, Buddha, Hindu religion. People can just get up and leave. But with a control group, they have to come up with a solution for them to actually get up and leave. Because if they see anybody walking out the door, they're going to catch them. And of course, this week, Jessica Pomadessa. This week, okay, another story. Jessica Pomadessa this week told all the Scientologists that are hanging around outside about Operation Snow White, where Scientology went into the federal buildings, took files out, replaced them with fake ones, and then that was it. Of course, L. Hubbard was involved with it. He took off. Before that, he actually threw Mary Sue under the bus before leaving. So now, let me see. You know what? This week, tomorrow, guess what? I was hacked into again. So I'm going to have to do Scientology and their love affair with the internet again, since I got hacked into. Now, I didn't really see this happen. So I found my other clips and I recovered it, but I tried to recover growing up in Scientology and polygram, growing up in polygamy. Excuse me, I told you about my ADHD and I make a little bit more errors than the usual person does. So, yeah. And, okay, done. Okay, put this to the side so this doesn't burn. Put the next two in. Going to be a kid favorite. So, put in just a little bit of sugar in to give it a little bit more flavor, or else it's going to taste like powder. All right. All righty. Now, of course, you know that the biggest deaths in Scientology is either suicide or through cancer. With their what's it called? Their breakdown of some kinds where you take several vitamins, take it down, and then sit in the sauna for 5 hours. Now, of course, that's dangerous. And of course, oh yeah, and they also take a high level of niacin before going in. So guess what? If my niece was here, she's a nurse, she would say, that's dangerous. Taking all that high level of niacin and then going in to the sauna for 5 hours is dangerous. That's another form of death which happened to Kirstie Alley. Of course, she was a hardcore Scientologist who passed away from cancer. And of course, Joy Vila had her as a friend, and she said that they made her suffer big time. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. All right. And I gotta take a drink of my iced coffee here. Yeah. And another form that's in Scientology is suicide. Of course, you know, some of the Scientologists in there have mental illness. And since Hubbard was against psychiatry because of his own agenda, because simply he was just laughed out of the room when he introduced the e-meter to them. They thought the whole thing was just so amusing. All right. Okay. It's halfway to boiling, so. Whew. Of course, never cook in a hot weather, but you know what? I did it too, but I also added summer dishes during the holiday. Oh my gosh. And guess what? Since party season is going to come up, we are going to I'm going to come up with recipes for the holidays. Of course, you know, fall starts tomorrow. This is the last week. This is the last day of summer, and tomorrow it's officially fall. But what does weather change right away here in Ohio? No. And what area am I in? Not going to tell you because you know what's going to happen. And so far, nothing out in front of my house, and I'm going to keep it that way. Now, okay. Now, if I start venturing out, doing any protesting or bring any of this to the public schools, I will have people are gonna follow me, since guess what? Scientology uses their tax exempt status. Okay. Now I'm gonna shut this off. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let it boil a little more, and then when it's done, boiling and it goes down to a certain point, take a spatula, scrape it. Some of it will come off, but boiling it really helps it. It'll loosen everything up. Of course, it just did. So then you can go in. And that's the way my mother did it. I mean, growing up, that's what my mother did. When something accidentally burned and it won't come off, she would take a pot of water, the whole pot that burned, put it on high, and all whatever's at the bottom would just come off. But not willingly, you're going to have to take a spatula and scrape it. Of course, we all get our trial and error, so. But I'm not going to use it right now on that because of because I'm using it right now to flip the toast. Okay. And let's see. All right, it's coming off because it's coming off the edge. All right. Now, usually when I'm in the next room, I smell it and I'm like, I got too comfortable. I might just see what I did. It burned. So take it from me. Don't get too comfortable while cooking because some of whatever it is you're cooking will get burned. So, of course, growing up, it was a little different for me. I was in a family of people with mental illness. Now, I have mine taken care of, but with my parents, you really had to really get them to get help because with them it starts to be a problem. But if people end up not admitting they have a problem, then that's when family steps in and have an intervention. But sometimes some people don't want to think they need help. But anyways, let's see what else is there. If I can remember what else happened. Of course, usually I'm a little busy coming up with stories and recipes to come up with the end. I also have vegan Benedicts, but I thought, you know what? I have to do this up again since I didn't really think it made much sense. So I'm going to use that for our next time. All right. So I'm going to check on these. All right. Okay. What else went on? Okay. Let's see. Oh, Dan Walks LA. Oh, I haven't been to his channel in a while. I should start. Jessica Pomadessa. Okay. Yes. William Good. Excuse me. Went into a commissioner's meeting, and started exposing some of the people on the board that are corrupt. And this is on his other show, Film the Police LA. And then, guess what? Like I said before, he actually started having his own anti-Scientology program by accident when he was standing outside one of Scientology's test centers. One of them actually came up and had the nerve to tell them that he can't be standing where he's standing. And of course, it fueled William. So, which I can't blame him. You know, this is a free country. We can stand wherever we want. But guess what? Scientology just violates other people's constitutional rights. They only care about their own, which is freedom of religion. Now, they're not a religion. They are a business, a real estate scheme. They would use tax-exempt status to build these beautiful buildings and just let it sit there, because guess what? They don't have too many Scientologists to actually get them into these orgs. Now, oh yes, maybe I did tell you, 4 people got aid from Aaron. So the number's down from 20,000 to 16,000. Okay, check on this. Now, is anybody on SPTV aware of me? I don't know, because I started back in March, and I put in my submissions to SPTV space, but for some reason, Fluffer Squirrel is not putting me on there. She is out of the UK. So it's, and every time I try to submit my, I'm going to put a little bit more in, submit my work, she would think, who's this person? And just deletes me altogether without putting me on the listing. Of course, since I didn't see myself and never saw myself, I wrote her personally. And of course, at the time I did these shows 7 days a week. No response. And I just got tired. I just was so exhausted. So I just one day went to her. I tried again. And then a week later, nothing. So I wrote her a letter saying, put me on, because I am so tired. I'm doing contact 7 days a week. Her response, I don't know if it's her or Scientology pretending to be her, but she said, then don't do it. I'm like, I'm not going to stop doing this. This is something that I love to advocate, but nothing. Now, Buffer Squirrel, if you never heard of me and you think you haven't gotten anything from me, then get back to me at the comments below where my listing is, where the information is. There will be my email. Get back to me. And of course, tell me whether you got my submissions or not. If you think you didn't, let me know. But at the same time, there are people in there that I haven't even heard of. So I'm hoping that, now I'm going to be nice about it. So I mean, and plus, there were subjects in there that didn't even bring up Scientology. And, okay. And what else is there? All right. Okay. But hopefully it's not her. It was Scientology. I hope so, because I did not put in work for nothing to have me being left out of this whole thing. Because now there's channel 252. They are now 252 channels on this network. So, and it's full of independent filming, which Aaron disclosed. Every one of the creators that creates for the SPTV network is all independent. So we can come up whenever, whatever we want. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I got so exhausted. I went to her. I said, look, I'm getting tired, so just please put me on already. And and I hope it wasn't her, but she said, stop doing it then. I'm not going to just stop doing it, because I want to actually get out there and fight Scientology tooth and nail like everybody else did, to get them to change their tactics, or it's gone for good. Because guess what? Their numbers are dwindling. So, and of course, my last one wasn't, I don't think it was heartfelt enough. So I sent a heartfelt letter to her. Went there, nothing. Am I going to call it quits? I hope not. Because I am giving it my all. And of course, we all want to be acknowledged for our work. I do. So, and plus, I don't want to feel like I'm talking to a wall every time I come on SPTV. And since then, I've been hacked. So this is one of the other reasons why I'm a little bit frustrated, because since then I've been hacked into several times through the internet and my phone. It's just, and I don't want it to be all for nothing. So I'm hoping I don't have to disband. I don't want to do that. I want to keep on doing my contents. And I want to get knowledge for that. Now, I came up with another solution too. I have another idea that I'm donating my time to the SPTV Foundation. I got the letter, they got mine, and came up with another idea. I'm going to go to Aaron about it. And I, of course, put in my all. Okay. So I hope that it wasn't her and it was Scientology, that I am giving her the benefit and not the doubt either. I'm going to be nice about it. Okay. So I'm going to appeal to her. I'm going to keep appealing to her. Hopefully she'll understand that. Yeah, since then I had to cut back on my time. going on, because I don't want to do it all for nothing. That's my deal. I don't want my work being all for nothing. So if I'm not going to accuse her of it yet, if she's turning it into a popularity contest instead of exposing Scientology, but turning it into a popularity contest instead, then I'm going to have something to say about it. But hopefully that's not the case. I'm going to be nice about it. Okay. And that's what I am, a great person. Now, do I have a bad side? Yeah, of course, everybody does. If I felt like I'm being mistreated, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely say something about that. Okay. So flip my French toast over. Now, is she a good? I don't know. I don't know her, so I can't be making calls about another person's personality when I don't know them. Is she a nice person? I don't know. Is she a mean person? I don't know. But hopefully we don't have an issue in Scientology, because they hack into everybody's computer if they think that they're getting on their case. But no, they're usually the ones claiming to be a victim. They're not victims, they're the perpetrators. Now, Tom Cruise and Jenna Elfman and those other celebrity Scientologists that are in there are the victims and the perpetrators. Everybody in Scientology is the victim. Unless for some reason David Miscavige feels that, oh, this person is just like me, and being just like me, I'm going to add him to my posse and they're going to be working for me. So that's just the way it goes there. Now, okay, done. So before you actually put it into your mix, toast every single one of the toast. Since this is a vegan-based plant milk, because if you put it in, it's going to fall apart. Of course, with one of the episodes I did, it fell apart. So it's, yeah, I don't try these things out ahead of time. So that's the incident I got. Let's see, what else is there, if I can remember. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this week's commissioner meeting is different. Yeah, and then when William Good was actually speaking at the Public Works meeting, of course, you know, William is so passionate for every cause as he advocates. And one of them, the head of the board, really said, oh, come on, stop yelling into his house, say what I want. If he thinks somebody's doing something wrong, he is going to address it in such a rough form. But you know what? If he feels somebody is doing something wrong, he's going to really come down hard on them. So, and that's what he did one day when one of the Scientologists who was in the test center came out and said, you cannot stand there. Of course, it's going to cause a flare, because guess what? It's a free country. People can stand wherever they want. They can't come out and just say that. Okay. All right. Looks like it's done on both ends. All right. Let's spray this again. All right, there we go. Now, like I said, don't spray it while it's still on the stove. Take it off the stove, hold it like this, and then spray it. Okay. We're close to being done. Okay. Now, since it's vegan form, you use plant-based milk and not the eggs. Of course, it looks like chocolate milk since I just put cocoa in there. Base cocoa. Okay, so now we're going to stick it into the pan. All right. What else went on? Okay. Now I'm sorry if I haven't to do Scientology and the internet all over again because I got hacked into. Or didn't come out right than I expect and have to do it again. But as far as I know, I was hacked. There we go. Put this one in. And of course, since me and my family had issues, like every other family, no family is perfect. But yeah, they usually help me out of my situations. But then if I told them about my phone, they're going to go wild. And yeah. Okay. Do they know I have this channel? No, I don't. They're preventing me from actually trying to get into my field that I want to get into. But guess what? Ah! All right. It's really coming off because all the burnt spots are just lifting up. So, okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to put this close. So, yeah, every family's got their issues. But of course, when there's a family issues and one person wants to leave, you know, Scientology uses their disconnection policies with these families. And of course, they are a family destroying cult. They destroyed the family. Are they father family unit? No, they're not. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. And guess what? Now Nora, somehow they kicked her off. I don't know for what reason, but my guess is, yeah, you got it, Scientology. But yeah, right now she's going to go on other people's shows. Let's see if I can get her on mine. Okay. All right. So she is the funniest person ever. Yeah, she really has a personality. And let's see. Oh, one day I said, of course, you know, Tom Cruise always goes in and helps another person. Okay, granted. But you know what? He thinks that's what Scientology is doing, but no, they're not. They're helping themselves. His little buddy helps himself. So, So I turned around and said, well, before that happens, I'll walk to the hospital before. And then the drums went off. Usually if I'm funny, I'm not aware of it. So I'm like, oh, that was funny. Everything I do, sometimes I'm aware of it and sometimes I'm not. But I wasn't really aware of saying anything funny, and she thought it was funny, so drums in the background. So it was so funny. And she looks like an unbelievable person. Of course, Liz Ferris is one of the other Scientologists who's trying to get back her dad. Now, did it happen? I don't know, because I haven't been on her channel lately, but since I've been doing my own work, I haven't had really the time to actually watch other people's work, but I'm trying so hard to go into their channel and watch it, but so usually I'm busy coming up with my own content, and these cast of characters are the bravest souls that ever came out of Scientology. They are speaking every single time of the day with the experience they went through when coming out of Scientology. And of course, Aaron came up with the network. Usually I'm just crediting him. But if there's other people that need to be credited, all right, I'll give them credit for it. So I'll check to see if he was the one that came up with that idea. So as far as I know, when I was doing all my own writings, I actually was writing a book of short stories. And of course, the way that I found out about what Scientology was doing, one day I'm thinking, everybody keeps accusing them of them doing something wrong, but yet we're only hearing their side of the story. But then they had an awareness going around of what Scientology was really like. So I went on. His is the first channel I went to actually, oh my gosh, actually found out about. He's one of the bravest souls. He's great. And of course, Cheryl had her story about her dad being a Scientologist, and that just took up her entire childhood. She is one of the other bravest souls that there is. Now, was Fluff or Squirrel ever in Scientology? That I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay, it's going down to the bottom. All the burnt spots are coming up. So that's one tip that I'm giving you to get a burnt stuff in the bottom of. Okay. All right. Bottom of the bowl. All right, we're at the end. It doesn't look like there's going to be any more toast, and that is toast number 9. So it makes about 9 servings. Okay. So I'm going to dump this on top. All right, that should do it. Okay. All right. Now, there's another thing of maybe you guys can't afford it, but now whenever we come about bad food, we actually toss it. Now we can't really officially toss it unless it goes bad, because if you toss away food, that will also put holes in the ozone layer. So they came up with the idea of a food compactor, which one would turn it into a soil that you put back into the earth, which is a really clever idea, I can admit. And what does the other ones do? I don't know. I have to get one and let you know about it. Okay. And let's see, what else is there? Now, this is the last one, and then we're gonna call it a day, and it's been an hour and eight minutes. So it is. Oh, yeah, maybe next time I will actually. Next week, I'm going to try and make baba ganoush, which is an eggplant dip, or you can use it as a sandwich. So next week, I am definitely going to make baba ganoush and stuffed eggplant. So, or stuffed peppers, tomatoes, whatever. So, all right. And wow, this has been an unusual week for me. I mean, yesterday was an unusual week. I was planning on coming on yesterday, doing Scientology and the internet, but something came up with my family, and of course I had to put that on hold until Monday, since I was hacked into. And yeah, but the other materials that I did, when it looked like they were gone, I did recover them, because it did look like it disappeared, but it didn't. So what I did was went to the search bar and pressed and typed in one of my contents, and 3 of them popped up. So I started typing away. I recovered most of my work. Now, some of them, I'm trying to get back one of the other interviews that Sam and Melissa had. I think I'll do them. So I'll start writing them as soon as I get back from my errand that I told you about. Yeah, it's been such a week. So, yeah, the whole time I'm thinking, no, this is the password that I'm using and that I had. Then I started using other passwords I might have used, but it uses 4 passwords. So I typed it in. I couldn't get in. And it was bad, really bad. So I'm going to see if I can keep the same phone number and just, okay. Yeah, it's not really that great. So, all right. Right. So, of course, it sounded like this week that I was making the same thing, but yeah, sort of. But guess what? I added an ingredient, and it was chocolate. So I had to bring back the French toast and then give the recipe for the chocolate form. Unbelievable. So I did that. So what I'm going to do is maybe have about maybe 3 of them, maybe. I hope I don't go over, but 4. Yeah, too much bread, no good. So, and oh my gosh, it was so. Not only I'm actually gonna switch up my phones, but I am definitely going to. Yeah. So I could sworn it was just that password, but I'm like, either it's me or Scientology is actually hacking into my phone and not letting me into my own phone. Now I can receive phone calls, but there's no way that. Yeah, and plus they deleted my brother's name from the phone. But my sister-in-law's name is coming up. So it's unbelievable. So those are one of the stunts people will pull if you decide to put yourself out there. If you decide to put yourself out there, then that's it. There are going to be people out there that's going to paint a target on your back. Oh, and since it's Scientology, guess what they did? They got to some of the police officers. Now, Scientology employs police officers to work for them. And of course, they got to the half of them, not all of them. Some of them are doing a good job with their work that they're doing. Of course, they're acting like police officers in a sense. But these guys are under Scientology's thumb. They're getting paid by them. And of course, it's bad. And I probably mentioned this before, but all these incidences are happening with Scientology. Pharaoh Cheryl nearly almost gets run over by a car. And it sounds like it's been driven by OSA targeting these protesters. Now, I haven't experienced anything yet, but am I going to put myself out there? Well, I just did by coming out to having a channel devoted to exposing Scientology, and this is one of the issues I had for them. They hacked into my phone. Okay. All right. There, that should do it for today. All right. Now, you know the ending. Buy me a coffee. Can't afford it, then you won't have to pay for it. Hit the like, press subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.